Hey, what's up? It's Nakula Das here, and I'm going to be sharing with you in this video 15 quotes on semen retention and sexual transmutation by the famous author Napoleon Hill. If you are not familiar with Napoleon Hill, it's time to get familiar with Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill was inspired by Andrew Carnegie, the industrial giant, to spend 25 years of his life studying the most successful as well as thousands of unsuccessful people to create a philosophy of success. He is a father or grandfather, maybe, of the personal development industry, and ultimately his teachings have inspired millions of men to reach greater heights in their careers and in their lives. So you can't have a men's semen retention channel and lifestyle channel and not talk about Napoleon Hill. Let's get into it. Before I do invite you to hit subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell. You get notified when I release 2 new videos for you every single week, helping you stay strong, healthy, and happy. I also invite you to go to my website and get your free ejaculation control video program with my brother from another mother, Mr. Jonathan White of Sexual Kung Fu. We got a lot of great resources for you in the descriptions below, so check it out. Go get your free program. All right, let's dive into it. Quote number 1. The desire for sexual expression is inborn and natural. The desire cannot and should not be submerged or eliminated, but it should not be allowed to dominate or dictate one's behavior. That's exactly what we're doing with the Spiritual Bad Boys movement. We're not trying to suppress it and we're not trying to ignore it. We're taking away all the shames, guilts, and taboos, and through the sexual kung fu techniques, we're showing you how to transmute it so you can use that energy properly in your life to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve, whatever you deem worthy, but not be dominated by it. Too many guys are dominated by their sexual energy, and therefore they can't build their careers, they can't find great relationships, they're experiencing tons of social anxiety, or they're letting it all off in the towel. And we're showing you guys how to create a new life. Let's go to quote number 2. A river may be dammed and its water controlled for a time, but eventually it will force an outlet. The same is true of the emotion of sex. If it is not transmuted into some creative effort, it will find a less positive, less productive outlet. 1 in every 10 guys in America are addicted to porn, watching hours on hours. It's affecting their jobs and their life. 1 out of 6 guys are on antidepressants. Millions of guys are talking about social anxiety, not being motivated, feeling depressed, and having no place in this world. That is because millions of guys are wasting their semen and not learning this art of sexual transmutation. Learn the art and transform your life. Quote number 3. The individuals of greatest achievement tend to be those who have highly developed sexual natures and who have learned the art of sex transmutation. Quote number 4. The emotion of sex is an irresistible force against which there can be no such opposition as an immovable body. When driven by this emotion, individuals become gifted with a superpower for action. I have personally experienced this in my life. As I've learned and practiced the semen retention lifestyle, using sexual kung fu to transmute my energy and hold that sex energy within, rather than doing what I'm always doing or was trained to do growing up, which was, right? Now it's in me, and my desire for action is incredible. I'm up earlier, I'm going to bed late at night, I've got multiple projects on the go, and I've got a ton of energy. This stuff works. Next quote. Destroy the sex glands, whether in a human being or a beast, and you have removed a major source of action. You better believe that ultimately your mind is under attack. People know that if you're drained of your sexual energy, you're going to be more susceptible to addictive behaviors. You're going to be more susceptible to marketing. You're going to be more susceptible to control, and you'll have no motivation to fight back, ask questions, or get creative. This is exactly what the powers to be want of the world. Why? It's easy to enslave a subdued population. But with the spiritual bad boys movement and what we're doing by sharing semen retention and sexual kung fu with millions of men around the world is we're going to take power back and give power back to the people by empowering men to control their sexual energy. Let's go to the next quote. It may be controversial contention, but sexual energy is the creative energy of virtually all geniuses. There never has been and never will be a great leader, builder, or artist lacking in this driving force of sex. Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, the greatest artists, Sting, all give their creativity and their genius to sexual transmutation. Nikola Tesla was a known celibate for all his life. Now, okay, most of us ain't going to do that. But what we can do is we can learn to retain our semen and hold that energy within us by using the techniques of sexual kung fu. Next quote. One major reason why the majority of people who succeed do not begin to do so before the age of 40 to 50 is their tendency to dissipate their energies through overindulgence in the physical expression of the emotion of sex. Now, Napoleon Hill talks about the overindulgence of sex, and really what he's talking about is the overindulgence of semen lost. Now, also, too much sex on the mind is also hankering. So when he talks about the overindulgence, when all we can ever think about is sex, then how can we get self-mastery? How can we get other goals in our life that mean so much more to us? Look, I'm like every other guy, right? I enjoy spending time with my wife in that way. And at the same time, I know my soul is here to do so much more, to bring my creativity and to bring my intelligence to the world. And you're no different than me. You're here to bring something greater than the world than just always hankering to satisfy your sex life. Sex is great. You can learn to become a master in the bedroom. But to have a fulfilling life, it's about giving back. And that means we have to get our sex energies under control and use them for greater worthy causes. Next quote. Transmutation of sex energy calls for more willpower than the average person cares to use for this purpose. Though this requires willpower, the reward for the practice is more than worth the effect. I can't help but smile when I read that because I know from personal experience how my own willpower has grown as continuing to grow. You know, when you're ready to, you're ready to let go and you're able to hold that, what that does for your body and your psychology as a man is incredible. You now want to go and conquer the world because conquering your sex energy gives you a tremendous amount of personal power. So I personally put a double stamp on that quote as one of my favorites. Next quote. Every other animal responds to the call of sex only in season. Human beings are inclined to declare open season. This is a really interesting observation of nature. I was saying this to my wife just the other day in the car, saying about how the animals are regulated by nature. Human beings are not. We have open season on sex, but that also means we have a greater responsibility to learn about it in a deeper way and realize that we need to regulate it ourselves. Nature gave you free will, nature gave you a sex drive, but nature also in the human form gave you an opportunity to use that sex drive to realize higher aspects of yourself. So yeah, enjoy the animalistic part of it. I ain't hating on you. How could I? I'd be a hypocrite. However, I do encourage you to truly take up the practice of semen retention and sexual transmutation so you can discover more worthy and eternal parts of yourself. Next quote. Sex alone is a mighty urge to action, but its forces are like a cyclone. They are often uncontrollable. When the emotion of love begins to mix itself with the emotion of sex, the result is calmness of purpose, poise, accuracy of judgment, and balance. This is such a beautiful description of the energetic alchemy that happens in someone who learns to transmute their sexual energy from just a raw sexual physical drive to an expression through the heart of love with connection. I know with my wife, I'll tell you, I experienced a deeper relationship with her since I've been practicing semen retention. So yeah, physically in the bedroom, we're having a good time, but more importantly, we feel like partners. We're being connected because an element of true love is being mixed into that emotion. Now, Bhakti Yoga is the process of taking that love emotion and directing it towards the divine, which gives an unconditional, tremendous amounts of love and faith. You couple your sexual energy with these higher forms of that energy, of that love expression, and you'll experience a very vast experience of life. Next quote. The road to genius consists of the development, control, and proper use of sex, love, and romance. This is what we've been saying, right? Next quote. The major difference between love and sex is that love is spiritual, while sex is biological. Love is chemistry, sex is physics. Next quote. The emotion of love, sex, and romance are sides of the eternal triangle of achievement, building genius. Next quote. Love alone will not bring happiness in marriage, nor will sex alone. But when these two beautiful emotions are blended, marriage may bring about a state of mind which is closest to the spiritual that one may ever know during earthly existence. And I can tell you that this is absolutely true. When you find someone that you can practice semen retention lifestyle with, where you can open up in all dimensions and you can fully connect with your sexual and your love energy, you have a dynamic force and a great partnership. Look, if you want to get into this lifestyle, go to my website, opt in and take the free course, Ejaculation Control, with my buddy Jonathan White and myself. We're going to show you a few techniques that you can use to be able to build as well as harness your sexual energy. Of course, I invite you to subscribe, hit that bell, make sure you get notified. I got 2 new videos coming for you every single week to keep you healthy, happy, and strong. Hey, sending you all my love and well wishings. Namaste. Amen. Hare Krishna.